crisis. If war breaks out, a major concern for American military leaders would be the reliability of their equipment in the harsh conditions of the desert. At a proving ground in Umah, Arizona, some of the latest American tanks, helicopters and other equipment have been going through rigorous tests. From there, Alex Thompson reports.
The Sonoran Desert of western Arizona. In the summer, the ground temperatures here can exceed 120 degrees Fahrenheit. It is a forbidding, silent wilderness. Silent, that is, but for this, the US Forces Umah Proving Ground. 1,300 square miles of desert terrain, the place where they prove that the hardware sent out to the Gulf is or is not the right stuff.
The vehicle that you'll see operating today on that dust course is a Bradley fighting vehicle.
But desert dust can cripple equipment, even a Bradley personnel carrier. Designed to allow soldiers to fight whilst moving at high speed and under armor, the Bradley has been flown out in bulk to Saudi Arabia. Repeated testing here is designed to protect the Bradley against the choking dust encountered in Saudi Arabia, but Arabian dust is different in consistency to Arizonan dust. Until samples of it arrive in America, this approximation of conditions will have to be the best test available, along with the painstaking removal and analysis of components like air filters. Glamorous, they are not, but if they fail, they can bring an entire army to a standstill. This is the business end of America's military airlift, the 67-ton Abrams M1 tank. With nuclear, biological and chemical protection, its makers say it's the most tested, lethal and agile armoured vehicle in the world, and it'll need to be, outnumbered as the Abrams are by the Iraqi tank regiments.
Well, as you know, that there are a lot of enemy tanks deployed there, and we view that the M1 is the main battle tank that has to be deployed to defeat that army. So we placed it there for that very purpose, and has the capability, we believe, to defeat any known armor in the world.
The feeling here is very much confidence that the best possible testing is available. The fact that Iraqi troops have just had several years of war as a proving ground in the actual Arabian desert apparently causes little anxiety. But how close do conditions here really match those of Iraq?
That's right. The data that we collect from this certainly verifies that the climate here is similar in the Gulf.
Dean Weingarten's chief meteorologist at Umah, responsible now for comparing temperatures and rainfall with those in the Saudi Arabian desert.
Well, the deserts are very similar. They're highly analogous. The maximum temperatures that we get here at Umah Proving Ground are very similar to those in the Middle East, particularly near the Persian Gulf and up near the Iraqi, Kuwaiti, and Saudi Arabian border.
With that in mind, personal survival equipment is also tested. There's not much use having the protection of an M1 tank if you're dying of heat exhaustion inside it. So, tank crews now have their own personal air conditioning.
This is an example of our microclimate cooling device. And the way it works is the air comes in, goes through a filtration cooling system, and we've got this nylon mesh here. So the air is able to circulate all around and to cool the soldier. It will not become a heat casualty.
And when the tank crew has finished on maneuvers or indeed in battle in the desert, it's time to eat. And amongst the things on offer from the US Army's Quartermaster's Corps, potato salad. This one contains enough for 18 people. It'll keep fresh for at least 3 years, they tell me, if you keep it at 70 degrees or less. With the international press gathered here and Operation Desert Shield building to a climax, any major areas of vulnerability were not likely to be discussed openly. Indeed, questions about how much weaponry has actually been shipped to the Gulf met with a blank wall. How many of them are there in the Gulf? How many?
I have no idea.
How many tanks are there like this in the Gulf at the moment, do you know?
Don't have that number. They won't give me that. All they say is just be an expert on the tank, and other than that, shut up.
Shut up and continue testing the hardware in the exacting world of the desert, in the knowledge that if the deterrent of this arsenal fails, the ultimate horrifying test of it all may ensue: warfare. Alex Thompson, ITN, Umah, Arizona.
And that's the world news. Goodbye.